Good evening, everybody. So happy to have you joining us tonight as we talk about pre-college programs and Summer Academy as it returns on campus to UVM this summer. We're super happy to have you here. We're going to dive into the presentation and have plenty of time for your questions tonight. My name is Nicola Willier-Fenton. I work in our professional and continuing education department, and I have the good fortune of working with Charlie, who is with us as well. And he works very closely with our pre-college students, among other populations of students, but he will be the one answering those questions on the other end of the chat and the phone and email if you're talking pre-college and Summer Academy right now. So we're going to get into this here this evening. Before we go a little deeper, I just want to do two logistics. One, this is being recorded, so we will share the recording out with everybody who has joined us this evening and everyone who has RSVP'd. You can share it on with other people as well. Also, if you have questions throughout the presentation, please pop those into the Q&A. Both Charlie and I will keep an eye on those questions and either answer them in the chat or answer them live during the info session as well. And if you ever have follow-up questions, there's live people on our chat on our website. It often is Charlie answering those questions live on our chat on the website. And also you can email us and find out more information on our website as well. Okay, so here we go. What is pre-college? And Charlie, I'm going to toss this over to you because you work so closely with our high school population, but what do we mean when we say pre-college and pre-college courses at UVM?
Yeah, thanks, Nicole. So we are referring to the population of students who are in high school, who are taking courses at UVM. And we kind of have two different types of pre-college. We have our Summer Academy program, and we'll be talking about those courses in a little bit. We also just have what we call pre-college courses. Those are UVM courses with undergrads all over campus online, where high school students can enroll and earn those credits alongside UVM students.
And many of those most of them, I would say, with pre-college are on campus, but many are online, especially in the summer when we start thinking about summer sessions. And Charlie, maybe, I know we're going to get into Summer Academy in a second, but as a pre-college student, I can take summer university courses at UVM, and those start in May, June, and July. Just share that experience as well.
Absolutely. So UVM has 3 semesters, summer being kind of the one that people can forget about, but when used in an advantageous way, can help students take classes to catch up, help them get ahead. The summer session courses are UVM classes, mostly online. 60 to 70% of them are online, which is different from fall and spring, where most classes are on campus. And those classes are going to be accelerated 4 to 6 week courses offered, again, mostly online, but at a pretty brisk pace. So students can get 3 to 4 credits within a 4 to 5, 6 week period. They have 3 chances to do that throughout the summertime. We run 3 different sessions kind of back to back to back, allowing students to have a lot of flexibility and a lot of opportunity to earn UVM credits in the summertime.
Yeah, and we see a lot of high school students take advantage of that July session because we know high school sometimes doesn't get out until mid-June. And so you can catch that last session, and lots of students do that with us in the summer. So let's keep going. And again, if you have questions, please do pop them in the Q&A. So many different reasons why high school students take college classes before you get there. The intention not really is to read all of these, but to just give you a sense as to, Charlie's been talking about it's college credit. And oftentimes you can take it in place of the AP class. So you're getting college credit. You're also getting maybe a different course that isn't offered in high school. One of the things that I love that I hear from our pre-college kids that I speak with is it helps you decide your major in college. You're interested in something, you go take a UVM course and you test out and see if that's your interest area. So it really gets you ahead, not only with those credits, but also making a decision as to the type of thing you want to study when you do land on that college campus. Charlie, is there anything else here that you wanted to touch on as to why you hear students come into our pre-college program?
Yeah, one is that one that you touched on. Sometimes there just aren't specific kind of areas of study or interest that are going to be offered at a high school. For example, like a wildlife fish biology courses or a parks and recreation course or a certain math class. I've worked with many students who are excellent at math, and there's just another level of calculus 1, 2, 3 here at UVM that they can take and really challenge themselves. But also there's computer science courses, there's language courses, there's lots of different types of courses that may not be offered at the high school level. And so for them to be able to earn college credit and explore their interests and help them kind of decide on what they want to take in the future, all those are really, really important pieces to this.
Absolutely. And one of the things I'm going to share this video, we often get this question in terms of, well, does it help with my college application? What does it mean really to take a pre-college course or a summer academy course? And while our director of admissions, Moses Murphy, will say, we look at the whole student. So it isn't just one piece. It isn't one pre-college course that makes, truly the impact. It's the overall strength of schedule. And it's really about demonstrating challenge. A high school student saying, it wasn't enough that I was taking this math. I wanted to push myself. I'm interested in Russian. I'm pushing myself to exceed my language and what I can do in high school. So we're going to hear from Moses Murphy, our director of admissions, in this video, really talking about what impact do pre-college courses have on that college acceptance and that college experience. So we'll take a listen here.
There's not a magic formula that spits out a decision or some GPA cutoff or something like that. I mean, we're really looking at all the components of a student's application and considering their candidacy and trying to determine fit and academic preparedness and things of that nature. And when it comes to students who take, college coursework or engage in pre-college courses, I think first and foremost, what it speaks to is academic rigor. So, obviously one of the things we're trying to evaluate is the strength of a student's schedule, not just how they've performed. And so when you see a high school student who's taken and in particular obviously succeeded in a college level course, I think that speaks to their academic preparedness and their likelihood to to succeed and persist and graduate on time and just to find in general academic success.
Hopefully that gives you a little bit of a sense as to, from the other side, when you're applying to college and those admissions officers and counselors, what they're seeing and what that may mean on that application. And Amy, thank you so much for asking that question. I saw that Charlie just answered that for you. And we're happy to have you here. Amy also is a UVM staff as well. So let's talk about the dual enrollment program. One of the, I don't like to say best kept secrets, but it's one of those situations where every single high school student who's eligible in Vermont should be taking advantage of dual enrollment because it allows the cost of tuition at no cost up to 4 credits. And so this is something that we talk to students a lot about, and counselors in high schools talk to the students about this opportunity. Charlie, maybe just walk us through, what is that process to, if I do have a high school student, which I'm about to, if they're interested in dual enrollment, how do they go find out how to do it and how to apply?
Yeah, it's a great question. So this is, as you mentioned, an amazing opportunity for Vermont students across the state. So they should first start with their guidance counselor. Nearly every guidance counselor I've talked to throughout the state, unless they're really brand new, they are aware of the dual enrollment voucher program. If they have questions, they can certainly reach out to me or our team here, and we can answer that question for them. But they'll want to work with a guidance counselor, look at the classes that UVM offers for the semester of their interest, whether it's summer, spring, or fall. And then they will want to go to the Agency of Education, apply for that voucher, and then they'll take that approved number that they get with their guidance counselor, bring it back and apply for that UVM course with us. And I'm always happy to help students anyway along this process. And once they have that application, they get registered, that voucher on their record, that is going to cover tuition up to 4 credits. So most classes are 3 credits, many are 4, very few are any more than that, if not any at all. So it's really an opportunity to take a class at almost no cost. The only cost is a $10 per credit comprehensive fee when you take it one class. So that's $30 or $40 to earn a full UVM credit. And I mentioned the question and answer there. The student still wants to, you got to get a 2.0 or higher to transfer that grade over. So it's a really great opportunity.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Yes, please. If you have not spoken with your high school counselors about this yet, I encourage it, or ask your student to do that as well. I want to share this video. We had a student working with us last year. Her name is May. She was a senior at Burlington High School. So she's since has graduated and moved on, but she shares the process. So she wanted to explain each fall how she approached getting that dual enrollment, figuring out the courses, and how she fitted into her schedule. Because we know high school students, they're busy. So how can you also fit in a UVM course on campus? And she was taking Russian as well. So here, let's listen to May.
First, I started early because guidance gets overwhelmed very quickly in the beginning of the year with schedule changes. So I contacted Miss Bradley about which class I wanted to take and the times of day that they were offered. And there were 3 slots, and I also had to, you then have to make sure it fits with your schedule. You can see what you can move around, and that's what I did. I had a meeting and I was like, okay, so I want to take these classes, but I also want to take Russian at this time. And you can move around classes to different times of the day if they happen twice, and that's what I did. And then from there you fill out the voucher first, and then you sign up on the UVM registration link.
So she makes it seem so easy, doesn't she? But it really can be that easy. I think to the point that May was making, it's, have that conversation with a school counselor as early as possible. Lots of kids take courses with us in the fall on campus or pre-college, and in the spring. And as Charlie was saying in the beginning, also in the summer. So great opportunity to gain those credits. So I see we do have a question. My daughter goes to Rice High School with financial assistance. Is she able to get free classes as well? Let's touch on that in just a moment. I don't necessarily know, Charlie, and I'm not sure if you have this confirmation, that there are some schools that are not eligible for dual enrollment. And I thought it was the private schools. I was under the understanding that dual enrollment is for public schools, but I'm hoping maybe Charlie can confirm or dispel my information there, but we'll get an answer for you as well. So on this slide, I just wanted to recognize, obviously we've started the spring session. It just started a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago. But what is on this slide really is looking at when you would need to apply, thinking of summer courses, thinking of next fall as well. And then I just wanted to make mention, if you or your student are interested in spring 2024, it's something you want to work on late fall, so just starting to look at a few months before the start of each of those sessions to be picking the courses, getting those dual enrollment vouchers, and making sure that you are registered. And Charlie likely will be on the other end of that to help you as well. I know you're typing questions, Charlie. I'm wondering if you could pause just for a second to walk us through this slide. There's a lot of support that our high school students have as a UVM student. Can you just walk us through some of these pieces?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're highlighting here is we have this online virtual learning community. We call it our pre-college enrichment learning community that kind of gears pre-college students and summer academy students up for success as they start their class. So we send out reminders to get students up to date and enrolled in this kind of, we call it a short Blackboard course, essentially, where they log into Blackboard, which is where all online courses and other stuff kind of happens. And we offer them a welcome, orientation, different modules to complete. All this is to be done on their own time, but we link plenty of different college prep resources. We link all the different various learning resources across campus, whether that's the Writing Center, the Center for Health and Wellbeing, student accessibility services, and make sure that students are really well aware of all the benefits that they get and the support they receive as a UVM student on campus or online. And so there's community resources. Again, there's an orientation I mentioned that sets the student up to be able to learn on Blackboard, gets them introduced to UVM. There's tips on how to take their college level course. And there's all sorts of different little quizzes we've built in there too, to help them kind of make sure that they're getting the best out of their class and making sure that they're, really getting effective learning out of this. And we're always there to support students through that process as well. And we found that's a really great tool for students to connect and kind of feel a part of.
Awesome. Great. Yeah. they're UVM students. They get to take advantage of all these amazing resources at UVM for their success as well. So I wanted to come back. I had mentioned some pricing, and Charlie mentioned too, just those comprehensive fees. If you are in-state, you able to utilize dual enrollment vouchers, you can see that it's just really that $30 comprehensive fee. And then if you're in-state, without the opportunity to use the dual enrollment, you can see the credit hour cost there, so $339. And also note at the bottom, the out-of-state student is $860 a credit hour. And we do have lots of out-of-state students taking pre-college courses as well, especially in the summer when they're all online as well. Charlie, do you want to just touch on, because there's a great number there that says 50% savings. What is that in that other pricing that doesn't have dual enrollment?
Yeah, absolutely. So the 50% savings is a straight up half off discount from UVM's regular year-round tuition based on your residency. It takes that cost and then splits it in half to 50% off, and that is for spring, summer, and fall. It's a really discounted price for students. It is 50%, like it says there, but everything is included. There's no change in the support that students receive. There's no change in kind of the way that they are a UVM student. It's just the cost for taking a class at UVM as a high school student, whether you live in or out of the state, you do receive that discount.
Yeah, great. So it's an amazing opportunity. I know you have a question there from Renee. Are there any special processes or rules that homeschoolers should know about related to dual enrollment, Charlie?
Yeah, so I was just finishing sending this answer. It's a really great question. We are aware that there have been homeschoolers who have utilized the dual enrollment voucher program. The first step would definitely be to contact the Agency of Education to begin that conversation. And I can put I think in my answered area, I put a link, and I'll put another link in the email for the Agency of Education's dual enrollment office. But there are homeschoolers across Vermont who have utilized dual enrollment, whether it's to take a course at UVM or CCV or elsewhere. We're definitely aware of that. And so right away, as soon as you have the idea that you're interested, reach out to the Agency of Education and talk with them about what that looks like. Because, you know, whether it's the parent or guardian who has to be kind of in the place of the guidance counselor, they will absolutely set you up for a way to get that voucher process moving. And then if you have questions about what courses you can take, I mean, any course that's on our page that's open to pre-college is open to a homeschooled student. It doesn't matter if you're homeschooled or not. If you can get a voucher through the Agency of Education, you can use it on a UVM course that's eligible.
Awesome. Great question. Thank you, Renee. I don't think we've had that question in a while. So that was a great one. Okay, we're going to shift a little bit from pre-college into summer academy, which essentially still is pre-college. It's high school students. Really, the difference is 4 weeks intensive with only high school students. So pre-college, you have the opportunity to be intertwined with all UVM students on campus or online. Summer Academy is a special experience cultivated specifically for high school students in a cohort of just high school students. So a little bit different experience. And it's back on campus this summer. We're so excited to welcome our Summer Academy high school students back to Burlington this summer. So traditionally, it has been 2 weeks on campus and 2 weeks online. That is the format that we will follow again this year. And it's 3 credit courses. Typically, a student takes one. Sometimes they'll come back the following summer and take a different course, especially with our health and medicine series of courses, which we'll talk about in a moment. Really, what's the difference here? It's building relationships with students and peers in your own age range versus being in with other college students that might be first year or second year in a Russian class, for example. And the other amazing part is you get to live on our incredible campus for 2 weeks in July, and you get to be in Burlington for 2 weeks in July. So if you are local, you know how awesome it is to be here. If you have visited Vermont in the summer, you know this is definitely the place to be. So other exciting news, we're still putting all the finishing touches on the planning for Summer Academy, but we wanted to share the news as soon as possible that it's back on campus. And so what does that look like? And Charlie will share a little bit more here in a minute, but what we do know right now is that we'll have our students in the Central Campus residential halls, the newest res halls, Central Campus, so great location to everything. And what does their program fee entail? It entails 3 meals per day, on a CAT card. It's the same experience that a college student would have going to the dining halls to get their meals. And then there's additional retail points if they want to make purchases throughout the 2 weeks that they're here. Tours, workshops, tons of activities. These kids will be very busy, mixed in with their academics, with lots of fun activities. Charlie, do you want to touch on any of these things that you're seeing either might be new or that are coming back as we come back on campus?
Yeah, thanks. So right off the top, the Central Campus residential halls, those are the newest buildings on campus. They are incredible. So students are going to be right in the center of campus, really getting an experience about what it's like. The college admissions workshop that's listed here, that's always been well received. It's a really great opportunity for students to just have more experience in terms of the college admissions process. We know that's really important. And all these options on here, whether it's a farmer's market or Church Street Marketplace, I mean, in the summertime, Burlington is a very vibrant college town, despite college, the traditional semester is not really happening. The downtown and city really come alive, and there's lots of different off-campus activities that we're also are in the works, and we're still planning out, where students are really going to be able to experience the town, which is just down the hill, not far at all from the main campus area. I do want to also mention something that does come up, we get questions about, and we're used to it at least, is there is downtime planned as packed and jam-packed as we make the schedule, and all the activities we'll have, all the meals we'll have planned for students, and all the different kind of orientation and games that the students will be, interacting with each other around. There will be time for students to do some studying, read a book, go to the gym, go to the pool, go for a run, whatever. There's always going to be some windows for students to kind of have that decompressed time, that downtime to interact with students kind of on their own. But there's going to be nonstop activities planned as well. So I just wanted to mention that because, students do need that time to kind of relax and kind of decompress and get their stuff together and do some studying. So that's also a part of the schedule.
Awesome. Yeah, we're really excited that this is coming back on campus. And so the program team is still putting so many pieces together. And as you'll note, I put there July 4th because the Summer Academy students come on campus and kind of move in on July 2nd. And so the 3rd is actually when Burlington does their fireworks on the waterfront. And the 4th has lots of activities all over town as well. So the students will maybe have one of the best 4th of Julys they've ever had if they're able to be here in the summer. So it's a really fun time of year. And I do see we have a couple questions. Charlie's working on those in the chat. So what kind of courses? Typically, we have a large amount of health courses. We work very closely with our Larner College of Medicine and also our College of Nursing and Health Sciences, in addition to our College of Arts and Sciences. So we're seeing a variety of courses here, and you see the top 3 are really focused in health and in medicine. Just a note, the introductory neuroscience is going to be online only. We'll talk about that in terms of what does that look like for pricing this year, but that is the one course that will be online this year. And new this year is writing the real world with a creative lens and intro to agroecology and community engagement. Really excited at the opportunity for those courses for students as well. So let's talk about, because I do know some of the questions are coming in terms of cost. So here we go. So let's look at the residential program first. You or your student is choosing to come and live on campus with us for 2 weeks and then finish those last 2 weeks online. So what does that look like? With dual enrollment, you will see that the tuition is still $0 and the comprehensive fee is still the same. It's at $30. The program fee is what you'll start to see consistent throughout all of these pricings. So the program fee are all the things that we just talked about: the room and board, the meals, the activities, all the things that are planned for their time here goes underneath that program fee. They are still finalizing a lot of those activities. And so that program fee may fluctuate a tiny bit, but our team was able to say that they think it's about $2,500 for that program fee. With dual enrollment, again, that's really what you're paying. 2,530 really is what it'll end up being. So then let's look at the next part. In-state residential, living on campus, but no dual enrollment. So there we have the tuition cost, which includes that 50% savings, and then also the comprehensive and that program fee mixed in there too. Out of state residential, lots of kids come from all over the country to stay at UVM with us in the summer for Summer Academy. So many times it's alumni and they want their kids to experience this. We have students from all over the Northeast. I've spoken with students from Oregon, from California, from Montana. So all over the place, from Texas, from Southern states as well. So what does that look like? There is your tuition fee mixed in there with that 50% savings. And again, that program fee, which encompasses all of the activities and the room and board and meals that we talked about as well. So let's keep going here on pricing. And I see we do have some more questions. Amy, we'll get to yours in just a moment. So Summer Academy, commuter. The other thing I want to make a note of, or the online class, that intro to neuroscience essentially would be the online class or the commuter, somebody that's not going to be on campus, right? Dual enrollment would cover everything. So you might be a student in Heinsberg, or maybe you're in Richmond, or maybe you're in Rutland and you want to come up and stay with an aunt or an uncle. You can still be on campus during the day, during all the courses and some of the activities on campus. And then you're paying with a dual enrollment voucher. So it's just that $30 comprehensive fee. In-state students without dual enrollment, you can see again the tuition cost there with that 50% savings. And then finally, our out-of-state commuter or the student that wants to take that introductory to neuroscience online course is the tuition at $2,580 with that 50% savings and that comprehensive fee as well. And oftentimes we see, out-of-state students, maybe you live in New Hampshire and, you have a cousin or something in the Burlington area, and you're able to stay with them while still participating in the courses during the day as well. So hopefully that answers questions on pricing. We'll keep an eye on the chat as well. So I know, Charlie, you're typing. Can you pause for a second and talk about this with me? Okay.
Absolutely.
We get this question all the time. Which one? I have a rising junior. Which one is right? Is it a pre-college course that maybe they're taking on campus in the fall or in the summer? Or is it Summer Academy? How do you help folks answer that question, Charlie?
Yeah, so I'd first like to just kind of ask what the students' goals are, what they're interested in. If they have ever taken courses at a college before, at a university before, at an institution of higher learning, just trying to gauge kind of what their interests are and where they've had experience or where they're looking for more experience. If a student is really interested in UVM and really interested in the on-campus experience, Summer Academy is going to offer something that a pre-college course is not going to do. But if a student's summer is completely full, that's just it's not going to work out necessarily. There's courses offered online and on campus all through the fall and the spring where the pre-college course option may be better. And, if a guidance counselor ever has thoughts about it, we love to work with the guidance counselors. I'm always available to speak with guidance counselors and kind of help inform the guidance counselor and the student on what might make the best decision. But again, there's kind of pros and cons to both. There's going to be some pre-college students in the pre-college courses where there's undergrads, and there's going to be a mix of different types of students. The Summer Academy courses are going to be really focused. They're only going to have high school students in them, but it's still going to be at that college level of rigor with college faculty here. But you're going to get that on-campus piece as well. So there's different pros and cons to both. They both offer an incredible opportunity for students to earn full UVM credit. That's the overarching theme, full UVM credit. And as I mentioned in one of the questions that I just answered, UVM credit is highly transferable due to the school's rigor, due to its accreditation. As a public university, it's those courses, as long as they're usually a C, 2.0 or higher, most schools, we've never heard of a school having an issue with taking these courses as transfer credits.
Yeah. I love that. We had our former associate dean always said UVM's credits are very credible. So they transfer well. So you're in good company. And I see Raina is asking a question on the dates. Charlie, if you want to pop in the dates to Summer Academy, maybe if you could pop in the link straight over to the Summer Academy page, that would be super helpful.
Absolutely.
I know it starts July 2nd with move in. And then, so it's those first 2 weeks in July that they're on campus, and then they finish their course the last 2 weeks remotely online. And just making a note, the application for Summer Academy is opening up next week. So that's something you want to keep an eye out for. How many students can we accept, Charlie? I know it's usually around the 100 give or take range, but is there a cap on our Summer Academy cohort?
There's not a cap per se in the cohort. Each course is going to have a certain number of seats allotted. So if a student applies and that course is full that time, we will either put them on a wait list or communicate to them, let them know. Typically the class size for each of the 5 is around 25. So it'd be up to 125 students. But when students are getting their applications in early, they're going to get a seat. The courses will fill up, but that won't start, next week. That'll start in May once people are kind of more finalized around their schedules. So it doesn't hurt to apply soon. Applying is free. There is no application fee to apply for Summer Academy. So you can simply go online and apply and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much for all the great questions. Just wanted to, oh, good. Yeah, we do have another question. Just wanted to pause and see if there's anything else. Susan asked, if a student is doing Summer Academy, are those classes different than what classes are offered as regular summer session courses? Yes, they are. You may find, I'm going to go back over here for just a second. Hang with me, Susan. You may find something similar in one of the summer sessions of pre-college. Those are Summer U, which pre-college kids can take courses. Again, those 3 sessions start May, June, and July. There may be an intro to agroecology in there. I'm not sure. There's a lot of courses. There's almost like 500 courses in the summer. But what's different here is that this is just a focus with high school students, and the instructors are gearing the curriculum. It's still the same rigor of a college class that you would take in the fall semester, but they're certainly aware of the audience that they're working specifically with high school students. Anything else you want to add there, Charlie?
No, that answered it really well. I just shot an answer in the quest Q&A there as well. But that pretty much answers it.
Okay, awesome, good. And then another question, can the credits be transferred into high school transcripts or into college credits? And I have a feeling you're typing yes. Is that what you're typing?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're automatically UVM credits the second a student passes one of these classes. And I should mention, whether they pass or not, the course will be on their transcript. And so even if they do get a D, it still counts as UVM on a UVM transcript. It shows as a course. It's not required that they send that anywhere. Obviously, we would love to work with a student if that ever would happen, but most students pass the course that's on their UVM transcript. They get great grades typically, and they can transfer that transcript wherever they'd like, send it around, and it will count as credit, college credit.
Absolutely. Awesome. So many great questions. Thank you, Jenny. Jenny just asked, resource available for the description of the courses. Yes, absolutely. On our website. I bet that's where Charlie's going. And the syllabi will be on there soon as well, so that you can see in detail the different courses. We often have a lot of videos with the instructors of the courses, really sharing what types of thing they teach, the experience in there. We have a lot of videos as well of students who have taken those courses and what that experience was like. So you want to keep an eye out for that material. And then Tom asks, if we apply on February 17th, but can't get the dual enrollment voucher till later, when is the bill due? Charlie, I can see you typing, but can you share that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. Tom, I'll share a link with you in the Q&A, but really the way it goes, and to get into the weeds a little bit, it depends on when a student's registered. So when a student's registered, that sets up when the bill is listed, and then that sets up when the bill is due. So if a student can't get the voucher right away, we will always work with the student. They can apply for a pre-college course, or they can apply for Summer Academy. and we will work to get them enrolled or get that application processed, and they can always add a voucher number later, as long as it's, before the class starts or within that first week of the class starting. We're absolutely flexible, but you can absolutely apply without a voucher number. We will get that added later, and then your bill will adjust, and any issue, any communication around that, we'll make sure to be clear about. If you have questions, we're always there to help.
Awesome. Yes. And it's likely Charlie who will be answering your questions. So please do reach out to him as well. And then we have another question. But yeah, great question. What's the application look like for, and I remember it's not too laborious, but what are some of the pieces that a student should be prepared to fill out with the application, Charlie?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really pretty much straightforward. There's going to be a small section for kind of a personal statement, short essay. There's not going to be letters of recommendation required. We do not ask for transcripts. We do need a parent or guardian or somebody who is listed on there who's going to approve that. If there's a guidance counselor as well, they need to be on that application too. But it's very straightforward. And the Summer Academy application is not, we're not asking students to necessarily show us all their grades. We really just want to hear about their interests. We want to hear about why they're interested in UVM, why they're interested in the specific Summer Academy course to which they're applying. But it's not a 7-page long deal. And again, it is free to apply.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much for asking that question. We also have another question. Will taking these courses like Summer Academy and pre-college courses give one a higher acceptance rate into getting into UVM? And I had a video earlier in the presentation. We'll share the video specifically out in the follow-up. So we'll follow up with this same video. But what we were sharing is the director of admissions, Moses Murphy, was sharing in a video earlier that it doesn't necessarily give a higher acceptance because they're not looking at one piece, right? They're not just looking at the fact that your student took a pre-college course. They're looking at all of the factors when reviewing an applicant. But what it tells Moses Murphy, our director of admissions, that the student is challenging themselves, that the student that succeeds well in these courses that can handle college courses, that they have a strength of schedule, that they're going above and beyond. And so while that isn't a direct correlation to, oh, you're in, it certainly speaks to the caliber of the student and the strength of that schedule. So we'll share some more videos from our director of admissions, Moses, and his thoughts on that as well. Hopefully that was helpful to you. Wow. Thank you so much, everybody. So many great questions tonight. Thank you, Charlie, for being right on top of the answers in the chat and also answering and guiding us through this experience. Pre-college courses at UVM and Summer Academy specifically, with the opportunity to learn with their peers on campus from the outstanding faculty at UVM, and being in Burlington in the summer for 2 weeks in July, you can't beat it. So we look forward to sharing more information as we finalize the plans of Summer Academy 2023. One more question. Is the faculty who teaches summer courses the same as fall and spring semesters? Absolutely. Yep. Same UVM faculty as well. So please check out the website. As we've mentioned throughout, you can do go.uvm.edu//pre-college. Charlie, if you could maybe pop in the URL as well, that would be helpful. And reach out to us. Charlie will answer any of those questions that you have related to pre-college and Summer Academy. We look forward to seeing all the applicants come in when it opens on February 17th for Summer Academy. And we wish you all a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining us.